Since we last kid. Hello, stranger. It's been a minute since we last kid. By the way, just got in town that I won't let you me this cloud. Don't in the sky, moving my body. Usually I don't do this often, but this recruiting isn't an option. Do what you made it thunder. Baby, I wonder. Baby, I wonder. Put your sweat on me. I got the plug, I made the call for me. Talking late night for you. Let me get that time for you. Don't hesitate, no, don't you? Just say you will. Come through and share. Just say you will. Come through and share. Share. What is up, you guys? What is up? What is up, tribe? Welcome to Earth is School. How is everyone? Ooh, I don't like how low this is. You guys, let's see if I can pull it up. What is up? I missed you guys. It's been so long. You know how you got that really close friend, that best friend that you haven't seen in like 10 days, 2 weeks, and it just feels like forever because y'all just vibe so well and you just love their energy. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about y'all. Brittany's life. What is up? What is up, sis? Thank you for tuning in. I just this camera looks so ashy, y'all. I know I was saying that on my live earlier. Like, it's affecting me. Welcome. Welcome to Earth is School. How is everyone? How have you guys been? Like, I know you guys have missed me just as much as I have missed y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to wipe off this camera because it's not cute. Okay, that's better. That's better. I feel better. But what is up? Welcome to Earth is School, you guys. I missed you guys so much. Today's episode is not that easy for me to like get into because daylight savings time is not a thing over here. It's just more proof that man has really been making up and manipulating time. We don't even have it. It doesn't even exist over here in Africa, closer to the equator. So I'm like, my homegirl had to remind me that it's not going to be the time. I won't be starting at the time that I would normally start because I have to make y'all's time. I have to go with y'all's time. So even though it's just an hour, I'm like, dang, I'm sleepy. I was supposed to be chilling at this time. Like I strategically set that time so that it would make it where I'm like, where it's not too late for me, but it's late enough where you guys can still get me like when y'all off of work and stuff. So I'm just gonna have to adjust. I don't know if I end up changing the time to like 5 p.m. But then it's like it make me feel like, like y'all don't get to have control, not y'all, but like the system having control. Like now I gotta adjust my time bump that. Could have stuck with my time. I know, right? But yeah, but it would have been earlier. I wanted to be consistent with the 6 p.m. Eastern time. So I don't know what I'm gonna do because coming on like my time, it's 11. It's 11 p.m. And that's not late. Like I stay up late anyway, but it just feels like I'm doing like it feels like 5 hours later right now. Like I don't know what it is. But isn't that amazing though? Like daylight savings time not being everywhere. That's amazing. So yes, you guys, I have gotten me a nice little break, not on purpose, but apparently it was divine. I ended up doing a birth in the meantime and focusing a lot on my birth work. And it's really been amazing, even though I've missed you guys so much. It's really been some good needed time for me to focus on my other businesses. I didn't even know that I would need this time. So yeah, it's 11 p.m. Yeah, so we are episode 36. Let me see right quick because I felt like I had seen that we ended on episode 35. Real quick, you guys, let me make sure that this banner is accurate. Oh, why does it say? See, look at your girl. I'm on it. It's supposed to be 35. Watch me revise something and then it really be 36. No, but it says 30. It says our last episode was 34. So I want to make sure that I'm not confusing the people that are watching the replay. All right, y'all. So this episode, like every Earth is Cool episode. Oh wait, I know, right? Where are you at, Brittany's life? Yeah, I was going off of Eastern Standard Time. So okay, today's episode, which I actually did have an extra note that I added. Y'all, this is gonna be for those of you that are just tuning in. The episode is normally not like this. I normally get right to it, okay? But I wanted to share that, and then it's just like I'm getting back in my flow. But I do want to send myself this note. So real quick, you guys, 1 second. It was longer than 1 second, but your girl is not as tech savvy as y'all would probably think. Okay. All right. So I just wanted to, I like to be like in my element and like feel good and be good. Okay, y'all. So bear with me for a second because I'm sure I actually had this episode whenever my internet was messing up. I had this episode ready to record. I thought I was gonna be able to still be consistent and give y'all these episodes every day. Still, I was just gonna record them and upload them. So I ended up adding some extra stuff that came to me today. So I just wanted to make sure I added that. Okay, Alabama is Eastern Standard Time, right? Am I confused? Because it should be 6 p.m. in Atlanta. But I guess it's on military time. You know what else is amazing is that the rest of the world goes off of military time, and the majority of Americans, we don't even know how to tell military time. Like, what's up with that? I said I wanted to do a video about little things like that. It just proves how much we have been isolated and we kind of are like off on our own little island. Not only with education and the news and stuff like that, but just with telling time. Like you can't even just go to any country and just tell time well if you come from America because mostly every place, I think it's like 1 or 2 countries that don't do it, but everywhere else they're on military time. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay, so yes, you guys, let's get into it. Okay. Oh, if this is your first time watching, then I am your host, De La Soul. Okay. This is Earth is School. This is a podcast that I created from something that I have had this philosophy since I was literally like 5, maybe even before that. I just don't remember. But really, really young, where I understood that Earth is school and that we came here to learn. And yeah, I just like to make taboo topics not so taboo, and to help us to connect the dots between these things so that we're not taking life's experiences so deep and so like just next level when we're really meant to flow through this thing, and shit is already hard enough. So I just want that's just my thing, like making things easier. I like to explain really complicated things and break them down in simple form, and yeah, and relate, talk about all things intentional living and stuff, right? So here we learn, we grow on all different levels, and you get a glimpse into my world and all my fields of knowledge. Okay. The first thing that we do whenever we start this episode, even though we're 11 minutes in, this is like, y'all get a little extra, you know? This is like bonus, like BTS basically from me coming back, okay? Normally, we start right away, okay? For those of you that are tuning in for the first time, and tripod is being funny. This is my tripod. But so we do this breathing, this core breathing, where we breathe in, and I instruct you to hold it. And what you are doing is pushing your spinal fluid up into the top of your brain, giving your brain nutrients and things, and then also releasing it. Okay. So, right, Brittany's I said yes immediately. Okay. Thank you guys who are consistently tuning in. I always appreciate you so much. Everything, like I'm gonna have to do like a giveaway or something one day. Like I have to start doing that because the consistency, the love, I feel it and I appreciate it. I'm so here for it. All right, so without further ado, let's do our breathing. We're gonna do 2 breaths. It doesn't matter where you are, okay? We don't care about what people think. We care about our breath and our core. All right, we care about the benefits of doing this. And one of the biggest purposes is because as human beings, as vessels, we really do house things in our body. That's what a vessel is. And so we are releasing these things that we've been holding on to. And trust me, this thing really works. This is not like some mumbo jumbo. You can look up research about what doing this core deep breathing does for you. This is what I use for my mommies to help them give birth without pain. Really powerful stuff. All right. So let's just breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Going in. You're breathing from your nose, but you're gonna hold in your core, pulling in your core, pushing your navel to your abdomen and holding it. Push it up, and release. Nice. All right, one more time. Breathing in, 1, 2, 3, going in. Pulling your navel to your core, holding it. Mm. Pulling up, and hold it just a little bit longer, and release. All right. Okay, guys. So today's episode is titled Speaking Your Piece of Peace. Did I say that right? Speaking Your Piece of Peace. All right. I feel like I did something similar to this. I don't know, but I just feel like I did something very similar to this, but this is very different. All right. So speaking your piece of peace. All right. So I mean your piece of peace in a literal sense. Your peace of mind. Speaking your mind, but it being like your peace. Okay. This is an important topic because I feel like as adults, um, we don't do this enough, and we were not taught. You know what? I just thought of something else. It's something that I'm teaching the kids, so I'm going to add this in here. We were not taught how to do this. we were actually taught the opposite. So let me get into it. Okay, I try not to jump ahead. So speaking your piece of peace. Um, Basically, this is about confronting people and setting your boundaries and speaking up for yourself, defending yourself. And I'm going to show you guys how to do this in not such a scary way. Okay. And again, I actually came up with this like 2 weeks ago. I actually recorded this for you guys, and then I just couldn't download it. So this is a new topic. Okay. So you can't you can't care. You can't care about what others will say and how they will respond. Don't be so understanding and forgiving that you allow abuse or disrespect and mistreatment. And don't try to predict how people are going to react. Okay, so a lot of us have situations with people, and we don't speak up because we wait. I'm trying not to jump ahead, but we will wait. Okay, we will not check it at the door. And a lot of us are very understanding. A lot of us, if you're into psychology and you've been through a lot of things, if you're that person that is normally giving the advice in your family and holding, if you're the glue holding things together, then you probably can break down on a psychological level why this person. So you want to make sure that you are so understanding that you are not respecting yourself, that you're allowing people to step over your boundaries, and that you are allowing disrespect. All right. And a really good way to do this is to not try and predict the way that the person is going to respond. A lot of times that is the thing that makes us not even do it. Like, you might be calculating it in your mind, what you're going to say, how you're going to say it. And then after that, your mind will go to, well, how is this person going to respond? What are they going to say? Well, they might end up doing this and doing that. And then next thing you know, you're in this anxiety circle of how things might end up happening. And you don't even know how it's going to happen. And it's not your job to worry about how a person is going to respond and saying what you have to say. Or it might not be a boundary thing. It might be, I have to let you know this. Like, for clarification, I don't like this, or this is what I need, this is what I don't need, or whatever. Whatever is this is about those kind of like hard conversations that you have to have either with your partner or a friend, coworker, it doesn't matter. But just really understanding how important it is, because it really has to do with loving yourself when you are defending yourself or taking up for yourself, and when you are speaking up for yourself, when you're saying your piece of peace. It's so important. Okay? And trying not to predict what others are going to say. I swear, you guys, touch this tripod. And now it's just my phone wants to fall. Okay, so setting up boundaries at the gate, okay, and feeling good about it. This is what I say in my sessions with my clients. Feel good about it. This is such an important little statement, because it's like, we hear about setting up boundaries and how important it is, but are you feeling good about it? Everything you do, you got to feel good about it, okay? So when you're setting up boundaries, like, do that for yourself. Say, okay, I'm going to feel good about this. No matter what, I'm going to feel good about setting up this boundary, because how you feel is everything, right? You guys have seen me say hundreds of times, this is a feeling realm, okay? The world that we're in, the matrix that we're in, is a feeling realm. So how you feel about things is really what things are. So a lot of people think that they are really easy at confronting people and setting a boundary, and they don't have a problem doing this and yada, yada, yada. But if you have anxiety, fear, anger, resentment, if you have any of these things in the back of you setting up these boundaries, or confronting these individuals or whatever, if you have these underlying feelings, then it's going to create problems. You will not be able to say what you want to say the way that you want to say it. There's things that you will miss, yada, yada, yada. Okay. So when you're setting up boundaries, or when you are coming to a person and letting them know what you feel like they need to know, feel good about it. All right. Make sure that you're feeling good. I feel good about this. Okay. Um, oh, okay. That's what else I wanted to note. You want to feel good about it because the truth is that you really don't know how it's going to end. Like you really have no clue. You don't know how the conversation is going to end. And what I have found in my past, just all these years of me growing and learning as a human, is that I would try to predict what the person is going to say and do all of this thinking and over calculating, and then it ends up not even being what I thought it was. Like I guarantee you that happens 9 times out of 10. So don't try to predict it. Feel good about it. And remember that you really don't know what the outcome is going to be. What matters is that you are speaking your piece of peace, because that matters. That's all that matters, honestly. It doesn't matter how the person is responding. It matters that you are speaking your piece of peace and that you are doing this with assertiveness. Okay, assertiveness is one of our spelling words for a couple weeks ago. The kids and I, we have these words that I do. There are virtues and certain things that I just want to put on their brain. Things that I really feel like if us as adults had grew up learning this kind of stuff, we wouldn't even have like this issue that I'm talking about, where it's hard for us to speak up for ourselves and to say, having conflicting conversations and stuff. There's just certain key points that we were not taught. And so assertiveness is one of them. When you are assertive, it means that you are speaking firmly and confidently. Assertiveness is loving yourself and is setting up your boundaries. It's not just being a yes person. Assertiveness is not communicating like you're shy and like you don't know what to say, or like you're timid and you're afraid. And assertiveness is also not communicating in an angry way. It's also not communicating where you're doing a lot of, it's a lot of, I don't want to use the word anxiety, but anxiousness, and you're talking like with a lot of aggression, or you're cutting people off when you're trying to say it. So assertiveness is that balance in between those two things. Okay, where you're not being passive aggressive, you're not being passive, and you're not being aggressive. You are being in the middle, and that is calm, that's collected, and that is firm and confident. And I really believe, especially if you have children, teach your children about assertiveness. There's videos that you can find on YouTube where teachers and other facilitators are teaching on what assertiveness is. I think this is so important for children to learn, and I'm going to get into why and how this has affected us as adults, how us not knowing about assertiveness has affected us. So I definitely wanted to share how I used to be and where I come from with this. Because I am, if you're into zodiacs, I'm a Libra, I'm a double Libra. So if you know anything about that, then you know that Libras are people pleasers. We really want to make people happy, and we really want to, we don't want to come off as the bad guy, and we don't want people like getting the wrong impression of us, right? Which is all the definition of a people pleaser. So that's on a zodiac level. And just without that, though, I've just been like that. And so I've also been in scenarios growing up where I might have allowed things to take place, and then everything hits the fan, and then I end up blowing up because, I was holding it in and stuff like that. So because of these experiences of me wanting to predict how people are going to react, wanting to avoid conflict is something that you can, if you're into astrology, you'll read that about Libras, is that Libras want to avoid conflict so much that we can also let people run over us. So outside of that, you don't have to be a particular zodiac to have these traits and to be able to relate to this. But this is how I had operated in definitely all of my 20s. And yeah, pretty much it wasn't until like the end of my 30s, the beginning of my 30s, I'm only 34, that I really started to understand. I knew for a long time that this was a lesson. I knew that I was experiencing me having to confront people and tell them about themselves, or tell them how to treat me and what to do and stuff. I knew that I was experiencing that so much because I needed to learn that lesson. But it wasn't until a few years ago that I really like fully, came full spectrum with how to even do this. And so now you're looking at your girl, and I don't have no problem at all. I do not care how you respond. And I don't mean that in a rude way, because when I speak with assertiveness, I speak with confidence. I know what I'm saying, and I'm not confused about it. And I'm also not disrespectful. So I can check you or just let you know how I feel without being catty and all those other things that I feel like a lot of us struggle with telling the truth or speaking our mind about, right? So when I say I don't care about the response, I don't mean it in the way that it comes off, but I'm definitely not trying to predict it. And I just really don't care. I just mean that with love. I just don't care anymore. And I'm so grateful to have come into this place. It took a lot of me allowing people to walk over me and step over me, and people to try the hell out of me, and people to take my kindness for weakness, and for people to act confused when I thought that I was very clear. It took a lot of that. And I am so grateful to have experienced that, because I thought that I was this way. Like growing up, even in high school, my friends would even say, like, I'm really big on like confronting. I want to know what's going on. If there's a problem, I want to get down to the problem and stuff. But there was still some underlying, things about me where I obviously, was holding on to, not wanting to mess up the connection, and, in fear of causing conflict and stuff like that. So just coming out of that is so amazing. And I can't begin to describe the peace of mind that you have whenever you have released the tension and the fear of confronting people and saying what needs to be said, saying your piece of peace, you know? And I'm going to get into why we have this struggle, okay? So, you want to refrain from assuming and overthinking when it comes to this. If you have something that you have to say to someone, stop yourself from overthinking. That will lead into you trying to predict it, and stop yourself from assuming what the outcome is going to be. That's kind of the same thing that I mentioned before. And just let go. Just let go. If you don't make a thing, then it won't be a thing. So this is a saying that I created, and I love saying this because it is really a thing. Like 9 times out of 10, the things that become such a huge thing for us, it's only that because we have made it a thing. Like, it's so hard to explain, but if if neuroscientists say that we only see 1% of what's going on, a lot of times whenever we have situations or drama or whatever, what have you, with people, it doesn't have to go the way that it ends up going, but we end up making a thing a thing. Someone said something about us, or we heard that they were doing something or talking about us, or stealing some type of idea from us or something. And because you focus on that, because you feel like you have to talk to them about it, or you have to go into the group chat about it, you're making a thing, and it is really becoming a thing. Like you're making it a thing. So just try to, when things come up that disturb you and that don't feel at ease, try not to make that thing a thing. Try to shift your mindset into, okay, this is just an experience. Everything is expansion. There's no kind of mistakes or anything like that. Everything is learning, and everything is expansion. So you don't have to make a thing all the time. And so if you are having to face someone and say what needs to be said, don't make it a thing for this to be a hard thing. Don't make it a thing for this to be a scary thing, and for this to be a possible blowout and all that. Just don't even entertain that. Don't make it a thing. Okay? I promise you, if you have something to say to someone that has not been easy to say, and if you release yourself, if you say, I release the control of the outcome of this. I release my urge to control how this person is going to react and what's going to take place. If you just say those words, you're going to feel so easy having this conversation. It's going to come to you so easy, okay? The words to say, what needs to be said, and how to react is going to come so easy to you. Okay, if you guys are enjoying this episode, please hit that thumbs up. You can share. If you are able to relate to this, if this is something that is resonating with you, please share this episode with someone else that can also get the same advice. Let's see. So don't make a thing a thing. A lot of us were silenced as children. So that is where my personal opinion, I believe that the majority of us having this struggle as adults, it comes from growing up. When you're a child, what are you told? Whoa. Okay, I'm in here, y'all. Okay. I'm like, what is going on? All right. So, um, what we are told when we are children is to respect adults, respect your elders, respect your adults. There's definitely this thing about believing that adults are always right, and being silenced at the hand of any adult and having to listen, having to believe whatever they say. um, there's a thing with that. When we were children, you may or may not notice it. It wasn't just respect your elders. First of all, when you're a kid, you almost, depending on your age, you don't even really connect elders being with the elderly. Everybody is the elder to you. They're older than you. And then there's this whole thing from the school system to the house that is subconsciously telling children that adults are always right, that you should listen to them, that we have the answer to everything. You're wrong, you don't have so we grew up in this environment. Of course, by the time we get older and we become adults dealing with those adults, we would have this kind of conflict with ourselves, because we were not taught to be assertive towards adults, and now we are adults dealing with adults. So we were not taught to take up for ourselves and to set up boundaries and to feel good about it, to be okay with it. That was never a thing for us as children. So it's actually, to me, it makes perfect sense if you're someone that struggles with saying how you feel and giving your piece of peace just because of that. Right? Doesn't that make perfect sense? So we're taught to respect and be afraid and listen to adults. Exactly, exactly. What you have to do is remind yourself that you are grown. Okay? Remind yourself that you are an adult, that you are grown as hell. Okay? Even though you may have not always spoke up, you need to know that now is your chance. Okay? Now is your chance as an adult for you to speak up. If you feel like you were not heard, many of us, I think the majority of us, grew up not feeling heard. This is also where this stems from. This whole contrast that we have with speaking up and saying our piece of peace. So if you grew up not feeling heard, if you grew up to not saying that your parents did it on purpose, but just being trained to have this almost inferiority towards adults, then I am giving you permission, and I want you to give yourself permission to speak up for yourself and to say what you have to say and to feel good about it, to be assertive and just to proclaim that you are an adult now. Proclaim that now is your time. And I think that it can also be a healing process for a lot of you. A lot of you can heal through your childhood trauma by you taking the stand to say, no, I am not going to let this slide. I am not going to be so understanding that I keep allowing this to happen. I'm going to really say what I want to say and feel how I want to feel about it and not excuse myself and not have to apologize or try and predict the way that this person is going to react. Okay? That says a lot. That says a lot, you guys. I think that that wraps up. There was one other thing I wanted to mention, and I don't know if I'll remember. But that is the gist of this episode, you guys. Just standing up for yourself and knowing that we have come a long way as adults. I am so proud to be a part of this newfound generation of adults who are not treating our children the same, not causing the same exact those traumas that we all face, with not feeling heard and stuff. A lot of us now are considering children's feelings, and we're considering that they might go through depression and they might have, certain types of feelings. So I just think that when you come from an upbringing, which is just society in general, where you don't get to have that, and it's kind of like, don't speak unless you're spoken to, and you too young to have any nerves, and all these little things that were said to us. We definitely have some things to fight through when it comes to being okay with setting up our boundaries and having these difficult conversations and not feeling like, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? Am I saying, how do I even do this? And just, a lot of times we just end up giving up and just letting the people or the person run over us. So no longer are we doing that, you guys. All right. You guys can ask about me. I will call you and be like, hey, I'm just calling because I don't want to be your friend no more. I'm just calling to let you know that this is our last conversation. I don't have any type of ill feelings about it anymore. And I'm so grateful to be at this place. It's only because of my experience. People will be like, oh my God, like, how can you call someone and just say that? Because when you have dealt with people trying you so many times, when you experience people really taking your kindness for weakness so many times, you just learn to not care. Okay? That was my filtered version of what I was going to say. You just learn to really stand on what you stand on and love yourself, which is being assertive and say, no, this is what I want. This is what I don't want. This is what I feel you are doing. And it's okay if you don't agree with me, but this is what I'm getting. Okay? All right, you guys. Please let me know in the comments. I feel like I'm like tired. Do I look sleepy from this daylight savings time? Because that's what I feel, y'all. It's only an hour, but I can't get jiggy with this. It's going to have to be 5 p.m. It's going to have to be 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because America is tripping with this. It's making me think that time is actually a lot later than it is or something. Because I feel tired. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, right? Because I'm normally like, but it's like this 1 hour really got me like, For those of you that weren't in the beginning, I was explaining how here in Africa, there's no daylight savings time. So normally we do the episode at 6 p.m. And I don't know, it's probably going to be 5 p.m. after this because I'm like, baby. I love you guys. This was a topic that I really wanted to break down. I feel like so many of you guys can relate to this. It's a natural human thing. If you have children, cousins, nieces, and nephews, tell them what the definition of being assertive is. Let them know that being assertive is important and understanding that assertiveness is about not being passive, not being aggressive, but just being right there in the middle and being okay with it. I am perfectly fine telling you that you cannot treat me like this. You cannot talk to me like this. Mm-hmm. That's right. It's okay. Okay, you don't agree. You don't agree that you've been talking to me like it's okay. It's fine. You don't agree that you've been acting funny, that you've been switching, you switched it up. It's fine. That's it. That's it. All right, let's normalize setting up these boundaries and talking to human beings like it is what it is. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Tune in tomorrow, you guys. I'm going to let y'all know by tomorrow a.m. you guys will know if I'm going to be on at 5 p.m. Eastern time or not, okay? Y'all will know if I'll be able to thug it out and kind of adjust to this hour change that I would have never had to adjust to, being that I'm over here. Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you for rolling with a sister. Please, if you appreciated this show, then hit the thumbs up, share. If you would like to book a session with me for wound care, strengthening your core, diastasis recti, all that good stuff. If you have a birth coming up, all things that have to do with the mind and your body, just shoot me an email and I will get to you. All right. Peace out. I love you guys.